welcome back to my ceramic art live stream. Sorry I'm late. I think we're going to switch gears. Last time I was streaming before I went on vacation, we were doing some underglazing. But I think we're going to work on glazing some of these little paint palettes that I have. So let me just let me see. This has like a bunch of underglaze on it, so I don't really want to use this thing. I'm gonna put this off to the side, kind of. I've got another shoe paper here. Just because it's like a really quick cleanup. Let's see. I'm just gonna kind of put this over here. I got just a few things. Okay, so I have these paint palettes, but I've actually also have, let me move some things around. Where can I put this thing? Put that right here. These kind of have some dust on them though, so maybe I should run those. Okay, so I also have like these little guys. These ones are not as deep. And I was thinking these could be more so like a jewelry type of dish. This is actually like not very shallow at all. Actually, that one's a bit more shallow. Let me just like run these under some water just to get the dust off of them. Just let me just put these off to the side a little bit and they'll just kind of chill and dry. And then I'd also like to put some wax on resist onto these guys before we start glazing. This little corner over here is like really annoying. I guess I'll put my glaze over here. Yeah. So we're just going to add this on here, and this one, the purple one that I use, wax on. This is the one that you will leave on your piece when you fire it. And then this other one that you might have seen me use earlier is wax off. You want to peel it off before you put it in the kiln. These are for like different uses. This is really to like resist the glaze or underglaze, particularly for the feet of your piece or the foot. Let me make sure I get all the dust off these. These ones shouldn't be as dusty. Okay. And the reason you want to get any dust off of them, yes, dust will burn off in the kiln because it's organic, but it can, in a way, act as a resist on your piece. And what look like, I think it can kind of turn out into like, maybe look like crawling or something. Your glaze just won't quite look right when it's on there when you're done firing it. So that's why you want to make sure you don't have any dust on your pieces. Okay, anyway, the wax on, this is for like putting on the foot of your piece. You don't have to remove it when you fire it, but then this other one is for like making certain designs, where you might want to put this on like maybe like intricate spots or something, and then you can just like do like a full coat of like one underglaze or glaze or whatever, remove, just like carefully peel off, just like this picture. You carefully peel it off and then go back over it with like whatever. So it's kind of like a design type of thing, why you would use that one. We used that in another video not too long ago, just so I could show you how to use it on one of our bunnies. So we've got this, got some brushes over here. Yeah, I think we are ready to go. Just so let me see. Let me just kind of look at the foot of my piece. So this one right here is not very deep. So I don't think I'm going to put any glaze here later. But this one looks pretty, this one looks okay. So for this one, we're just going to make like a nice clean line when we go through with the wax. Just doing it slightly differently. We're on this one. I'm not going to put any glaze on the bottom, so it really doesn't matter. Let me see if you guys can see. Okay, I think that's good. Sorry, it looks so dark in here, but I have literally all my lights on. It's a pretty like cloudy day. So we're not really getting any light from the window. So we're just going to do, just kind of run this along the foot, and then we're going to go up the side of it as well. I suppose you probably don't need to put it on the very bottom. For this piece, but if I set this down on this paper, it will resist anything that's sitting there. Like if we had any little glaze drips or something fall onto the paper, I don't know. But I suppose we don't really need to put any on the bottom. But if I do this, then I don't really have to worry about it, so I don't know. That really didn't take that much time. So now we want to just kind of decide like how far down the glaze we want the glaze to go on the sides here. I don't think this one's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use this glaze, so I don't think it's particularly runny or anything, but I think we'll just, I don't know, I think we'll give it like a good amount, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to try to make this relatively even in terms of like how high we're going on the side here. I feel like that's like a decent amount. We're not like, we're just using the one glaze. We're not we're not like doing any combination or anything. The one glaze I'm thinking about using is it's pretty white, but it has just kind of like a nice little touch to it. So, actually, I don't know, it might turn out a little bit more white. Let me think. When does it... I don't know. I'm not sure, but sometimes when I use this glaze, it looks different. And I think it is my very slightly different clay bodies. They look very similar when... Well, yeah, they look very similar, but I have this like hunch that this glaze looks a little bit different on one versus the other. One of them, I've used this on something and it looked pretty white, just flat white, but then I don't know if you guys can see it on this thing. Maybe kind of, you can kind of see it how it's like not like a flat white, it's like I don't really think you can see the color. But you can definitely kind of, I think, see some speckles. Not like speckles, but like, I don't know. Because the clay body kind of like comes out from under the glaze. So you get this kind of very light cream as kind of like the background. And then this glaze has like, I think it's really white, but when the clay body kind of like pokes through, it sort of has this very slight pinkish purple look to it. I don't know. I don't know if it's like an optical mixing type of thing. That's kind of what I feel like is happening. I'm fine if it just turns out white. Maybe it's the stoneware. I feel like that makes sense. If it's the stoneware, then it will have that pinkish, very slight pinkish look to it. But if it's the porcelain, then I think it looks a little bit more white, because the porcelain would be like ever so slightly whiter. But these clays that I have are like extremely similar. I didn't know it when I bought them, but they're extremely similar, which is like, I mean, it's kind of nice, because I think generally my pieces can look pretty cohesive, because I'll use the porcelain when I work on the wheel, but then when I hand build, it's better to use that stoneware. And we do a lot of hand building on the channel. Yeah, I mean, if I really wanted to, I think I could just use the stoneware exclusively, because you could use that on the wheel too. I'm not even sure if there's much of a difference in terms of handling. If I notice anything different about it on the wheel versus like the porcelain. Typically porcelain is like, I don't know. I mean, typically it feels like smoother and like, I don't know. It's kind of like more buttery. I don't know, like, I think that's just kind of like I think that's what people say. I think that's like what other people say, not just me. That feels buttery. I don't know, it's like very smooth, and I really like working with porcelain because of like how smooth it is. Okay, so for this one, we're going to put a little bit of this wax on this side of the foot and the other side. But I want to make like a nice, like decent line. The other one really didn't matter, but for this one, I'm going to put glaze down on the bottom of this. So I want it to look decent. I feel like maybe I should be using, I don't know, maybe I should like, I don't know if that would help if I like move the camera. Some of this is like kind of hard to do on the stream because I'm like, I need to get really close up to it, but also I'm trying to film it. Okay. I think this is okay. It's very jaggedy over there. Okay, so let me just like focus on this. What else? Yeah, so we're not going to, let me actually grab the other brush and do this before I forget, I think. I'm gonna put some on this little tiny foot guy here. I don't think this is like, this little foot guy is like necessary right here, but I don't know. Sometimes I just do things like just in case. Actually, I think I'm gonna switch. Yeah, I'm gonna switch this other brush. This is just because when you get to a certain point with like, I mean, particularly plates, when it is fired, the clay actually moves when it's in the kiln and is being fired. That's why you typically will probably leave lids on pieces while they're being fired, because if it kind of moves around and warps any amount, like the lid and the container will warp together and still kind of like match. But like for plates, when you get to a certain size, it's probably a lot bigger than this. So this little guy probably wasn't necessary. The plate will warp and it might kind of droop down towards the center. So you'll just kind of like add like a little tiny foot there, just something to kind of like hold up like the middle. And then depending on the size of the plate, maybe you'll like add on like maybe a few other little like feet or something. If you look at any of your like large like platters or ceramic, you know, just other large serving plates, you'll probably see that on them. I think this is probably a lot smaller than like when it's necessary to like add that little foot in the middle. But yeah, that's a good thing to know. Otherwise your plate might just kind of like be a little warped. And just kind of like, it'll just kind of slump down into the center. But having a little foot here that is the same size as like this foot over here on the edge, it should prevent it from like slumping like that. Yeah, I think this brush is probably a lot better for doing this little corner spot here. Hi, Dubdemo. We are, we're pretty close to being done with like putting some wax. Well, actually, we have these two, but then we have those other two off to the side. I think we'll just start with these two paint palettes, and then if we finish them, we'll just move on to the other ones. So kind of have like 4 over here. So we're just gonna apply, oh geez. Okay, I'm not sure how to remove wax resist. So, I'm gonna have to like Google that and come back. I just hit it like right in the middle. So, I have to come back to that. I think you can remove it, but I'm not really sure. Okay. We're just done with this inner circle. And then when we're done with this, we're going to check out the glaze that we have here. Hopefully we won't have to mix it very much. But I think this one that I have here is one of my more problematic ones. Okay, I'm gonna switch back to this other brush. I don't know. I don't really like how it looks over here. I kind of want to make like the whole thing even. Okay, probably doesn't matter too much. I think it's It's probably best, whoops, if I just put a clear glaze on the bottom. I'm pretty sure the glaze that I have sitting over here, I think that one kind of like, if I put it into like my little logo thing, I think it'll just kind of cover it up completely. So I think we'll probably just use a clear glaze on the bottom. So even if we don't get like that inner ring for the foot, like super even, I don't think it'll be too bad. Let me see. Okay, I'm trying to make this really even now. Like, kind of having a hard time. Well, I hope everybody had a great Labor Day and a long weekend if you had one. I was on vacation last week, so that's why I wasn't streaming. We flew up to Michigan to visit my mom in Upper Peninsula. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to focus. Okay. Okay, I think we're just about done with the foot. I don't think this glaze runs very much. It's definitely not a runny one. And I don't know like how much it moves, but I don't think it's very much. Okay, I think that might be good. Okay, just gonna kind of let that one dry. Actually, let's get open up this glaze bottle and see what we've got. Oh yeah, you got Friday off too. That's awesome. Yeah, so nice to have like a long weekend, because then you have like in addition to that, you just like have like a short week ahead of you too, like when you get back, or if you have Friday off, then like 2 short weeks. Oh geez, this has like it's completely like dried. Let me think. Right. Okay, I was not expecting that, so I do have distilled water to put into these, but it is in the storage unit. So So I guess I'm just gonna put regular water in it. I don't know like exactly the circumstance to use, like I don't know like if you like how different it'll turn out if you have distilled water in it versus tap water. It might be like more of a like, I don't know. Where, just a second. It might be more of something like if you have, what's that called? Like my parents, their house, they put like salt in it. Softened water? Is that softened water? I don't know. They buy salt. And like, I don't know, maybe that's the time that you definitely need to use like distilled water. I don't know. Because water is not just water. It has like stuff in it. So I don't know if there's if it's like a huge deal to not use distilled while incorporating it into glaze or underglaze. I think it's just safer for how it's going to turn out color-wise. I think it would mostly be color-wise. Okay, so we're just going to mix this up. I think like the one thing I hate about glazing is mixing up, like fixing the glaze. I hate fixing the glaze. So I definitely don't know what I'm doing. I think just like while we're at it, I'm just gonna like get some of that glaze off the side of the container. Just like push it back in there. Sometimes you kind of need to make some changes to your glaze, which is super annoying. And which is kind of like the thing that I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know, sometimes they're just, sometimes they just don't quite, you know, they're like too thick. But then it's like, if you add water to it, sometimes that's not really even like, it's not really solving the problem. It's kind of hard to describe. But I do have some issues with this glaze because it acts super weird all the time. Sometimes all you need to do is add some water. Sometimes the glaze has been, I think it's deflocculated, and then you need to reflocculate it. That has to do with like, ooh, I don't know. So I think that's what you're doing. It has been deflocculated and you need to reflocculate it. I'm pretty sure that's the thing. And I have some, all you need is like some water and then put some Epsom salt in it, like enough Epsom salt into that water cup so that it stops dissolving. And then if you pour like whatever amount of that into your glaze, it will reflocculate it. if that was the issue, but I really am not quite sure. Like if I've been trying to use it for the right reasons. See how like weird and like creamy this is? Like it's not like runny like whatsoever. I don't know. This glaze is super weird. It's kind of just always like that, I think. Okay, I don't know. I think we'll try adding some more water, but I really am not sure. And side note, just adding more water to a brush-on glaze does not make it dippable. Like for you to dip it in there. I can't quite remember like what you need to do to make it dippable, but I'm pretty sure like it's more than just adding water to it. I just saw a video like not really that long ago on YouTube where by Pottery to the People. She has so many great videos. Really check her out. But she has a video. I think she turned a brush-on glaze into a dipping glaze. I think that's what it was. I don't know if she did both. I don't know if you can do both. Like, turn a dipping glaze into a paint-on glaze? Probably not. But I guess I don't really know. I don't know like a ton. I just like, I feel like I just know like enough of the basics to do some things. Okay. Ugh, anything with like troubleshooting, I hate troubleshooting with like, well, I guess that's anything, but particularly with ceramics, it's kind of annoying. Let me see. I think I'll just get like a little brush for this because I want to go into these little, our little crevices for our paint palette. See, it's still not even like, I don't know. Yeah, so just kind of try to smear this around. See how like quickly it just grabs it? There's something weird about like this glaze. I want to be really careful we don't miss anywhere. You know, have any like anything that's like not glazed, because it really just grabs onto it very fiercely and kind of like it doesn't really make it very easy to just kind of like smear on. Pretty sure I have the same issue with my my white satin, which is the one that I used on my other paint palettes. So if I wanted to go with something white-ish, I could use, I just got a glossy white, but other than that I really don't have anything to use. I feel like if it's a paint palette, it should be white, because, I mean, these are like particularly supposed to be for watercolor, which is translucent, or what would you say? lucid or transparent. I forgot what the difference is. But like you're gonna like see through it, so I don't think you really want to be like a different color. That's okay, Dubdemo. We're just chilling out here, not really doing too much. I am like so tired. I need a second coffee, I think. So great. My trip did not really, well, going there we had some jet lag because Michigan is 3 hours ahead. But coming back was like kind of perfect because it's like just like, I don't know, I just had to like go to bed like probably like earlier, maybe a little bit earlier than I usually would, and just kind of got me right back on schedule basically. But oh my gosh, I had such a long trip getting over there. I don't know why it's such a pain to like fly out to Michigan from like anywhere. Anywhere I've lived. I lived in Nebraska, and oh my gosh, that was actually even worse living in Nebraska, because my layovers would typically be like 9 hours to get into like the upper portion of Michigan, which is like, I don't know, I really I can't imagine anybody likes a long layover. But that's like the problem, is trying to like get into like the upper peninsula. Because like Detroit is like, I think that's like maybe 4 hours or so away from where my mom lives. So that's a lot to ask, like have her like drive 4 hours to like pick us up in Detroit, and then like drive like 4 hours back. Like that's a lot. So I tried to fly into like the upper peninsula, or like closer if possible, or like not closer, but like whatever like the next best thing is. We went to Mackinac Island and rode some horses. They have like one of those, like, you don't have to like know how to ride a horse. You can just be like someone who's never ever ridden a horse and go and do that. So fun. Actually, like, I think they're like, yeah, there are all kinds of places that like offer this. Like horse ranches and stuff. There's one, there are a few here in Portland, like, or like kind of like just outside the city, that you can do that. Highly recommend. Jason did, I wanted to go like last year for my birthday, and he was like, I don't really want to go. And I was like, what do you mean you don't want to go? But I was like, we're going back to the island. We have to ride horses. That's the whole thing. Like, Mackinac Island is special because it's like, I don't know. It's definitely the only place in the US where there are no cars and you have to like ride a horse. So except for like I think a fire truck or something and an ambulance, everything else is a horse. So the taxi's a horse, the tour is a horse. Well, people are riding their bikes too. Bikes are really common too, because they're cheap. But yeah, it's like so fun. It's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like stepping back in time. And I don't know, I think it's like so fun. Hopefully there aren't any like PETA people that are just like outraged by the horse thing. But I don't know. I mean, like, what else are horses doing? Like, there are plenty of places in the world that still like use horses for like labor. I mean, definitely other animals too. Like, I think like mules are like pretty strong or whatever for labor and stuff. But yeah, anyway. So he finally tried it and he said it was so fun. He did not think it would be like that much fun. And like what we did was, so you get on the horse and you're typically, if it's like pretty booked, typically there are like more people like in your group. So everybody saddles up and we go out with a guide. The guide shows us like where to go and we kind of like walk around town until we get to the nature trail, hiking trail. There's not actually very much in town, and like more of like the center of the island is pretty forested and is really great for hiking. Or some people like will go biking around there, but I mean, I'm not really, I'm not that athletic to be like biking up some of those hills. But yeah, so we got to the trail and then like whatever like time that you wanted to rent the horse for, you go on like a certain trail. And the guide kind of splits everybody off onto whatever trails they want to go on. So if you want to be on the horse for like 2 hours, you're going to go on a different one than people going for an hour or like an hour and a half. And it's just like so nice. You just like out, like not in the hustle and bustle of, well, it's a really small like town, but it gets really busy, like really populated with like tourists. So there is like quite a bit of like hustle and bustle like in the downtown area. But just kind of like out in the countryside, riding a horse. Squirrels are running around and there's some birds tweeting and whatever. And I don't know. It's like, it's so nice. It's basically kind of like, just being on like a nice little nature walk, but you're also on a horse. And it's a lot of fun. So we did that and we went, I don't think we really did like a lot on the island. We went to a bunch of shops and found some cool souvenirs. Got some stickers and patches and stuff with like horses on it. So fun. What else did we do? I don't know. Mostly, there's a lot of shopping on the island. So many like fun little stores that I wanted to see. It's so weird seeing how much it's It's like every time I go to the island or like literally like anywhere, like so like half the shops like change out into probably like go out of business, and then they're like bought by someone else, and then they're selling other things. So it's like, it's really weird not to know like what is like even there. Yeah, oh my gosh, my college town. So we went back to my college town to meet one of my friends. It's kind of a good halfway point because she lives in Wisconsin. So we met up and got some lunch, and we went out to Prescal. And Prescal is like this, it's like a miniature peninsula on the peninsula. I don't know if that's what an isle means. I don't really know what an isle is. And I used to go cliff jumping there with my friends back in the day, into Lake Superior. It's pretty cold because Lake Superior is like the deepest. I think it's the largest and the deepest of the Great Lakes. So it generally has to be kind of like maybe like 80 or more for you want to go swimming in it. So we went out there and we were kind of just hiking around. And stuff. And my friend's boyfriend went cliff jumping. Despite not knowing how to swim, I guess. We thought he was joking, but apparently he doesn't know how to swim, and he just like jumped off the cliff into the water. There were plenty of people there if he needed saving, so it was fine. And there's like nothing wrong with the water. It was like pretty easygoing. But if you've never been to like the Great Lakes, they're a lot of people like compare them to like oceans, really. And if they had salt water, they would be seas, inland seas, but they don't have salt water, so they're just lakes. But yeah, they can have really choppy water. They can be really dangerous in terms of like riptides if the weather's bad. Like boats have sunk into the lakes because of like bad weather, all that kind of stuff. They're really big. And can be very dangerous if the weather's not, the weather's not right. Yeah, we went to Marquette. Oh, so disappointed. This shop that I went to, that I wanted to go to, wasn't there anymore. And then it's like the majority of what was in there was this lady. She does ceramics, and I saw she had like an art studio by Pascal. And we went there, and it was like, it said it opened at 11. It was like 12 o'clock. It wasn't open. And I was like, no. So we just laughed because it was like, I mean, if they hadn't opened in an hour, I mean, I don't think they were opening. But I was like, oh man. So that's Nick Ceramics. If you want to check her out. She has like a website with her work also. So that's NIIK Ceramics. Super cool stuff. Very, very minimalistic, modern. She has a lot of like, just like probably like white porcelain. pieces. I think they're porcelain. Some of them aren't glazed or anything. She just kind of like has the clay body and then like sands it like nice and smooth. I have a few of her like air plant holder pieces that are like that. But yeah, I really like her work. And this was like before I even did ceramics. I really liked her work. Let me see. I think we need to touch up this little spot maybe. Just make sure we're getting glaze everywhere. Once I get this first layer on, I'm going to do like a really thorough look at all of the angles and stuff of this and make sure we have a pretty even coat for the first coat. We're gonna do more than one coat, but I just want it to be like nice and even to start off. Yeah, we went to my hometown is on Lake Huron and Lake Michigan. So Jason saw all 3 of the Great Lakes. Well, not all of them. There are 5. But all the ones in the area. The other ones are not in the area. And we tried to go swimming at the dunes. And the only day we had left to go swimming, it was like really cloudy and cold and looked like it was going to rain. And the lake was not warm at all, so we didn't go swimming. So I'm so disappointed in like not being able to go swimming because it's so beautiful. Like it really is just like such like crystal clear water. You can see right through it. And it has like a very beautiful like blue and teal colors to it, depending on how deep it is. And you can like see the sandbars kind of pop up, like off in the distance. It's just like, it's so pretty. Highly recommend a vacation to Michigan. If you've never been there. So great. Very, Michigan's like, a lot of Michigan is really great. I mean, particularly the Upper Peninsula, it's really great for camping and just kind of like getting away, getting into like being in nature and that kind of stuff. Really don't expect too much in terms of like city things, except for Detroit. I don't know. I've never really spent much time in Detroit. But yeah, had a great time. Saw my mom, saw the puppies. They're not puppies, my dogs. And yeah, now we're back at it. Doing some ceramics, and I have so many things to underglaze, but I think some of them I need to kind of get a plan ready for it, like before we just kind of like jump into some of them for the stream. But yeah, I thought we would just kind of like glaze this thing. See how it's just like very clumpy? It is just like super clumpy. It just does not go on evenly. This, I don't know, this glaze never does that. I don't know if I need to like, I don't know, add anything to it or like do something, but this is just like how it always is. And is why I knew this would be like, this would definitely take up the time for the stream because it takes freaking forever to like glaze with it. Okay, well, we are a little bit over time. But so good to be back. And back at my ceramics and stuff. For anybody watching on Twitch, be sure to follow along so you know when I come on for streams. We'll be streaming until Friday, and then I don't stream on the weekends. And then we'll be back on Monday with streams. Probably like glazing and maybe doing some underglazing because I have a lot to do in terms of that. All the videos are uploaded to YouTube at calieandco. There you can find a whole live stream playlist. And some other ceramic videos. I have some, a few tutorials and then some other ones like a book tour of all the art books that I have separated into like different videos. If you want to check that out and like, I don't know, just like some other artsy things on the YouTube. So be sure to follow along, subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.